Hello and welcome everyone to On-Point Technologies PCM and MacMall webinar Thursday. We are thrilled to have you with us for our Dell webinar, which is on Be Brilliant with Dell Displays. And joining us today to present on this topic, we have got Joseph Santandrea, who is Product Line Manager from Dell Monitors. We are going to get right into our main presentation in a few minutes, but first I have got a few housekeeping items. Please remember to enter your questions in the question box on your right-hand side, and I'll relay those over to our speaker this morning at the end of the presentation. We do send out a survey at the end of the presentation. Please fill it out and let us know how we did, as well as topic you'd like to see covered in the future. We are also recording this webinar, which will be available for playback in a few days. Recordings are posted to our webinar pages, which is www.onpoint.com/webinars, and also on www.pcm.com/webinars, along with our upcoming webinar schedule. And with that, we are going to go ahead and get started with our main presentation today. I'm happy to hand it off to our main speaker, Joseph Santandrea, who is Product Line Manager from Dell Monitors. Joseph, it's all yours now.
All right. Well, welcome, and thank you very much. I appreciate your time to come today and listen to Dell Displays. As mentioned, I am the Product Line Manager here in North America, and I'm excited to talk to you about what we have in store and what we have now with Dell Monitors. To start off, just to do some level setting, Dell Displays and Monitors are #1 4 years in a row. And in fact, we are #1 in North America for 17 years now. And this is a great testament to the products and with customers who are enjoying our products and come back and buy more. We do have over 40 commercial monitors available in 13 screen resolutions and in a number of different sizes. And the idea there is to show that we have a number of different products that can address many different needs. And this is an important idea when you're working with your customers to understand that a particular model may not meet the needs of everybody in the organization, and in order to get the best productivity, the idea is to find the right monitor to suit their needs the best. Moving over to the middle, there, the green box. This is a demonstration of our technology advancement. We did launch our 8K monitor recently with over 33 million pixels. This is the world's first 8K monitor, and we'll talk more about that. But we continue to push the envelope in terms of displays technology and deliver that for you and your customers to make sure that they're getting everything they need out of the latest technologies. For this reason, you can see that in 2016, we did win a number of global awards for our products for a number of reasons, for innovation, for design, and continuing to look for ways to differentiate our products. And even here at CES in North America, we did get 4 awards this year and continue to rack up the awards over the years at CES for our products. So let's take a look at some of those award-winning products. Right in the middle, you can see that we do have the world's first 8K monitor. It is 31.5 inches, and you can see it has gotten a number of awards and reviews. On the right-hand side, you can see a number of other products that did win here on the first one there, the most efficient, and then you can see some other best of show, best products, editor's choice. On the left-hand side is another example of our innovation in terms of a USB-C ultra slim monitor on our consumer side. You see a number of different formats and designs and technologies incorporated into the displays. Again, looking for that highest productivity and the right match between the users and their needs and the technology that we're incorporating. So let's take a quick look at Dell monitors specifically, and to understand completely why we're in this #1 position and why customers continue to vote with their dollars and purchase and enjoy Dell monitors. Going across the bottom, you can see performance is key to one of the elements that we look for when we're designing the products. This goes everywhere from our color critical products all the way to our entry and essential level products. We look for the most advanced components and making sure that we are getting efficient and maximum performance from all the elements of the products. From a productivity standpoint, this is by far the leading reason that folks are looking at Dell monitors and investing and trying to find the right fit. Millions and millions of dollars obviously are getting invested in client technology, and that includes the information that's being processed in the software to get everybody's organization and achieve their mission, and the monitors are really the window for that productivity. So we continue to push the envelope in terms of thinner bezels, making sure the products are ergonomic in terms of improving the user's productivity and getting the work done. So we're going to talk a lot more about productivity as we go through the product set. From a reliability standpoint, we've created a number of innovations, and we're going to talk more in detail, but we do have a premium panel guarantee revolving around the one bright pixel in the product, and we will return it for the life of the warranty, and we're going to talk about that more. But in order to make a guarantee like that and stand behind the product, that means we're starting with the highest quality components, and we're testing those exhaustively to make sure that not only do we stand behind those products, but you know that the customer is going to have the minimum amount of downtime. And that's an important factor when customers are making decisions about the products. They want to make sure that they're going to work and they won't get distracted from their mission. From an environmental responsibility standpoint, monitors have just taken some great advantages over the last several years. Our products being delivered today compared to products 10 years ago or even 5 years ago are using much less materials, they're using less energy, they're producing less heat, they're slimmer, lighter, cooler, they pack smaller. We're innovating in the packaging area to make sure that they are safely delivered to their destination in the smallest amount of material, and that means less material into landfills after the packaging is used. More products are delivered efficiently on pallets, and all of that goes into making the products more efficient, more cost-effective, and passing that on to the end user. So let's take a quick look at some of the innovations that we're doing in this area. From a reliability perspective, it's important to understand that our guarantee, our premium panel guarantee, and even our advanced exchange service, all of this is coming because we've made the product a quality product from day one. We wouldn't be able to make these sort of guarantees. The idea, of course, is to never have to use the service and never have to have the product fail on you, and that's the goal that we strive for. So if you start from a quality product from the beginning and you reduce that downtime, you should never have to use these services, but if you do, the premium panel guarantee, one single bright pixel, we will replace the product for the life of the warranty. All of our commercial monitors have a 3-year warranty, and you can get 4 or 5-year warranties additionally. But should it need to be replaced, we used advanced exchange. What that means is you can continue to use your product, you call in that service claim, and you will get a replacement product while you're still using your current product, and then you can just make a very fast exchange to minimize that downtime. So all of these are because we worked with customers, we know what they need in terms of the minimal downtime, and that should give everyone the confidence, and it's been proven through our market position that the customers trust our products. You don't have to mail it in when should it fail and then wait for an exchange product, and the amount of failure itself is just reduced in general. So very key, very important when working with your customers to explain that difference. So let's talk about some of the other differences that Dell monitors bring. And a great example of that is the Dell Display Manager. This is a piece of software that works with our current family of Dell monitors to improve productivity in a number of different ways. And this can be downloaded on support.dell.com at no additional charge. This includes features like easy arrange. For larger monitors, larger screens, you're able to divide up the screen into logical spaces, and this helps you be more productive in terms of using the space and snapping windows in the right place. And this is a Windows-only application and functionality. Additionally, there's features like auto mode. What this allows you to do is, as you work with particular applications, you can tune the monitor to have certain attributes. So you may want a certain brightness when you're looking at your email, or you may want to have a certain color space when you're watching a video, or if you're using Excel, you may want to tune up the contrast. Anything like that, you're able to set it with the applications in auto mode. We also offer additional power savings in terms of tuning the power nap and allowing you to set that on your monitor to save more energy. And then there are even other aspects in terms of making it easy to change on the connectivity that you have in the monitor if you have multiple sources connected to the monitor. So this is a great example how we listen to the needs of our users with our monitors and then develop the products and the technologies that will take that experience to the next level. From a vertical standpoint, as I mentioned, we have a wide range of products for particular users' needs that also reaches into the particular verticals. So as you work with your customers and they are in particular industries or particular users are working on types of applications, you can see here covering anywhere from education, engineering, healthcare, design, finance, and collaboration. We continue to launch those products that are specialized, and this should give you the confidence to have those conversations with the customer in terms of different areas that they are using their products. As you, the customers and your users are talking about their needs, every organization is going to have design needs, they're going to have education and training needs. There may be collaboration opportunities, and there's a finance department. So you can see how a lot of these apply to many of your organizations. So now that I've given you an overview of our technology in general from a displays perspective, let's go down a level and start talking about our particular product lines. The Dell family of monitors includes our E models, which is more of our entry or essential level products. These are perfectly suited for task workers, and they're built to be an extremely efficient model that includes features like tilt capability and other ergonomic features like our anti-glare coating to reduce eye fatigue. So these are available. They're also a great match for our Wise Thin Client solutions as well. But great for those task workers like call centers, bank tellers, and the like. Then we move over to our P models, and these are our professional level models. This is really where the corporate standard kicks in. Great for knowledge workers that are working in a windowed environment. And these can be for folks that occasionally watch videos. They may be opening and using multiple applications. They may be sharing work, demonstrating work to multiple people, maybe looking at the monitors. This is where you get into more advanced ergonomics like height adjustability and swivel and pivot with the monitor. This is also where you can enable additional functions like USB ports, webcams, touch capability. All of those things are possible. And it's also where we start to push the resolution of the products from a knowledge worker perspective. Now, the E's and the P's generally have a feature set, and then they're available in a number of different sizes. When you get into our ultra-sharp monitors, this is where you get into the highest level of our products, and this is where we're going in several directions. This is where our color critical products live for folks like photo and video editing, and we're going to talk more about that. This is where our technology forward products live, like our 8K monitor, and also wireless displays and ultra-wide displays. And then also this is where our design forward products are. So this is where you get design innovation, such as a four-sided thin bezel monitor, which we refer to as an infinity edge, and we'll talk about those as well. Some other areas where we have a number of Dell products includes our conference room monitors. And up till this point, in fact today, as a matter of fact, we had 3 conference room monitors, and then we are making available now 2 additional products, and we'll talk about those as well. So now we're going to have a portfolio of 5 conference room monitors, great for finding that space in your organization. What's important to understand here is that this is sort of a different consideration from, let's say, your desktop or your knowledge worker working in the office. So it would be important to see what everyone's business plan is in terms of displays in a conference room or an auditorium or a training facility. Additionally, we do have medical review monitors, and this is a great area for us, a growing area in terms of having specialized products for healthcare needs, and this could also be applicable to many of you in your organizations. This is a slide that demonstrates a lot of what I was speaking to a moment ago, but helps illustrate it a little bit better. As I mentioned, the E models, you're going to see both our TN and IPS panels here, the twisted pneumatic and the interplane switching. This is a very great place to start from a monitor perspective, and you're getting the monitor connectivity such as DisplayPort in those models. As you move up to the P models, this is where the IPS really takes hold, the in-plane switching. All of them have height adjustable stands. You get additional connectivity like HDMI, and this is also where the premium panel guarantee kicks in. So it's our P models and our ultra sharp models that do get that premium panel guarantee, and then you get additionally the USB ports. Into ultra sharp, we talked about the advanced technology, our Premier Color, which are those color critical displays, and then our design forward models. Here's a quick summary of some of the differences between our different families, and you can see some of the changes there between a slim bezel versus an infinity edge bezel there in our P models, and then also additional functionality such as the ability to daisy chain the monitors, which is a function of DisplayPort, multi-stream transport. It allows you to connect multiple monitors and address them individually through a single cable connected to the source, and it's our ultra-sharp monitors that have that DisplayPort out capability. You'll also notice at the bottom there that Premier Color that we'll take a moment to talk about as well in the ultra-sharp family. Premier Color is a key asset within our portfolio. Any folks that are working on color critical projects, this includes photo, video editing, print shop, even getting into scientific applications, maybe oil and gas exploration, GIS, any kind of color critical space is going to need specialized products like these, and Dell excels in this area with a number of products that addresses those. So we calibrate these products from the factory. Additionally, we push and make sure that they are adhering to the industry color standards, and we provide all of that reporting to show you how even each individual monitor addresses those color spaces. But more importantly, you're able to customize it on-site for your needs, and we include integration with the X-Rite i1 Display Pro colorimeter. What's important here is that you are able to store that color calibration in the monitor itself. So now once you've calibrated a monitor, it won't be kept from a software perspective. You can actually unplug that monitor, plug it in another system, and be assured that the monitor has remained calibrated the way that you set it. We also provide an SDK, a software development kit, that allows you to really get into the guts of the display and tune the color parameters exactly to the needs of your business. So hopefully all of you can benefit from this Premier Color advantage. Let's take now a closer look at the portfolio. Before we begin, I just want to go over our naming standards. I know that can be confusing sometimes, but here you can see from a very straightforward perspective, our monitor names all begin with the family that they belong in, and from a commercial perspective, you're really going to see ultra sharp, professional, and the entry level, or UP and E. You will see conference room as well. As I mentioned, we're going to have 5 displays there. On the second letter designator, really it's Premier Color that gets that second letter. Otherwise, you're going to move right to the size class of the monitor. Those first 2 numbers are going to really indicate very quickly what size monitor you're working with. And then you get into the fiscal year of release. That's our Dell fiscal year, which is a year ahead of the calendar year. But that very quickly gives you an idea of the age of the model. Finally, you're going to see a technology letter denoted that really gives you an idea of what kind of technology you're working with. So by understanding this nomenclature, it really helps you understand our products on the roadmap that we're going to talk about. Here is a snapshot of our roadmap. We are right there in the middle at that red line, and you can see that we did refresh a number of products in the January timeframe. We're currently refreshing, as I mentioned, we just launched our 8K monitor that we're going to look at a little bit more in detail. We're also launching 2 conference room displays that we're going to talk about, but just to give you a little bit of a preview, this is a 55-inch and an 86-inch conference room display. Both of them are going to be touch with 20 points of touch, and they are both 4K resolution. So these are great conference room displays for future-proofing as you build out the space for your organization. Moving more to the right, you can see a number of ultra-sharp products there on the bottom that are going to be launching, including an HDR product, additional curved products, which are very popular at the moment, an additional 4K product in our ultra-sharp space, and we'll talk about resolutions as well. Towards the top of the slide, we are refreshing one of our popular Quad HD, which is an additional resolution monitor in our professional space, as well as launching some specific entry-level products that are going to be available to you with HDMI connectivity, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So let's move forward and take a look at some of these products. What I want to do is I want to spend a couple moments talking about our currently available products and give you an idea of the range and breadth of the product line and really make you think about your monitors in a different way, because in terms of increasing productivity of your organization, a monitor is one of the easiest ways and least expensive ways to improve access to the information that you're working on and improve the working experience of your staff as well. So let's take a look at some of the innovative ways you can use monitors. This is a great example. This is in our professional line, and we have a 43-inch monitor that has 4K resolution. And both of those parameters are rather impressive alone, but the magic behind this monitor is the ability to show 4 unique sources on the screen at the same time. This is different from some picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture technology that you may be familiar with, in the sense that all of that enables 2 unique sources to be shown on the screen at the same time. This moves it all the way to 4, which is a great innovation in terms of very particular users, including programmers, even in the government space, or even IT managers, which is it's a big hit for them as well, considering these sources can be all kinds of operating systems or not even computers. It could be something like a cable feed to watch the news or whatever is required by the organization. 43 inches sounds like a very large monitor, but in fact, if you're using all four sources, you end up with four 22-inch 1920 by 1080 full HD monitors. And we know that many of the folks in your organizations are already using 3 or 4 monitors. This allows you to achieve that in much less space with a single plug to plug in, creating a much cleaner environment, much easier to work with, and then giving additional flexibility, like the ability to use the entire monitor as a 4K monitor when you want to work more closely on a particular source. So great flexibility and a great way to clean up the desktop for your power users. Curved monitors. This is a very hot item for us and for you. We've heard you loud and clear that having a nice wide, high pixel, high resolution monitor that makes it clean with additional features such as built-in speakers, built-in KVM, allows you to use the two systems and use 2 different sources and then use a single keyboard and mouse, which again cleans up the desktop and makes work and productivity much easier and much higher as well. So the curved screen, this is our 34-inch curved screen. It has a high resolution at 3440 by 1440. That's a wide quad HD. And we have 2 versions. We have this one and we do have another one. The difference between the two is mostly the curvature of the screen itself. So if you haven't explored these, or if you currently have a standard for your users that is dual monitors, maybe they're dual small monitors, like dual 19-inch or dual 20-inch monitors, this would be a great alternative and get there, and quite honestly, a great efficient way to enhance productivity for each of the users. So consider these. We also have some other another wide aspect monitor. This one's 29-inch. It is not curved. It is flat across, but gives you plenty more glass and pixels than a single monitor. So you end up with 2560 by 1080, and you get a nice wide screen. Really wonderful for horizontal data, watching things over time. So think financial, any sort of Excel spreadsheet kind of usage is going to work really well on an ultra-wide monitor. So this is a great product to consider. As we push the envelope into design-forward products, Infinity Edge became really a great feature to add, and you're going to see UltraSharp moving into much more Infinity Edge products. Today we have these two, the 24-inch and the 27-inch, and to accentuate the Infinity Edge and design element, we offer it as a stand, on a stand like many of our monitors, but we also offer it on an arm. And once you put this monitor on an arm on your desk, now the display is simply floating in front of you. It's cleaned up your desk. You've got plenty of workspace. You can push the monitor out of the way very easily. And then with that very thin bezel, ultimately your work is floating in front of you with the minimal amount of distraction. And the look is really appealing and a great way to enhance the overall effect of your work environment. So this is something definitely consider. We've gotten great feedback on the Infinity Edge. From a professional perspective, you'll notice that the resolution today tends to settle around full HD. That's 1920 by 1080. But a great way to get additional productivity is more pixels, more information on the screen. And with our P2416D, we've done just that. this takes a 23.8-inch screen, and rather than a full HD, you end up with a quad HD resolution that's 2560 by 1440. That is a lot of more information, a lot more pixels on the screen, and you don't have to take up any more desk space if you already have that 24-inch class monitor on the screen on your desk. Great way to enhance their productivity. So with the increasing demands of applications and the increasing detail of even photos or multitasking with multiple windows, having more pixels on the screen gives your users a bigger workspace, which is really important. Video conferencing is becoming increasingly popular, and Skype for Business is a big part of that. So this monitor that we refreshed in January, this is our multimedia monitor. It includes an infrared webcam at the top and a speaker bar at the bottom, including a jack on the side for a headset. The infrared camera means that this monitor is now Windows Hello compliant, which means that you can actually unlock your system simply by looking at the camera. Really effective for folks where video conferencing and Skype for Business is going to be important. The other thing is, we heard loud and clear, a lot of folks cover up their webcam. Maybe you've done it on your notebook or your system with a little sticker. What we've done is we've incorporated a physical shutter over the webcam at the top of the monitor. So that increases security if you need to shut off that camera from a physical perspective and slide the little door over. So all of these features are carefully thought out and researched with users to improve productivity and address their needs. Our touch monitor had a completely different overhaul and a completely different look now. We went to an articulating ARM design. We were able to take advantage of new technology called in-cell touch technology. This allows us to remove the cover glass that you often see on touch monitors, and that includes a shiny coating which ends up getting fingerprints and also adds weight and bulk to the display. We were able to remove that, and now you have an anti-glare screen with extremely sensitive touch, but it allows the monitor to be lighter, less bulky, and the anti-glare also hides the fingerprints to a certain extent. So really gives it a nice clean look, really ready for the commercial environment. We do offer a number of 4K monitors as well, our 24-inch and our very popular 27-inch 4K resolution. This is in the professional space. Of course, 4K is really a lot of pixels, 3840 by 2160. You get a lot of window real estate for serious multitasking. So this is a great one for an application like that. We also go into our color critical monitors with Premier Color. We also have another 4K here at 31.5 inches. This is a very large Premier Color 4K display, really very popular with graphic designers and other color critical applications. This is our flagship in that area. But we round out our Premier Color portfolio with also a 30-inch display with quad HD 2560 by 1600. This is a 16 by 10 display, as well as 25 and 27-inch Premier Color monitors as well. These have been recently refreshed, and they have a 3 sides thin bezel and built-in KVMs, as we were discussing earlier, having that KVM technology and also the SDK software development kit. It really creates a flexibility and an integration with these monitors that your organization can really benefit from through custom applications. To talk about the conference room displays, these are the 3 models that we currently have available, our 55, our 70, and our 70-inch touch, which is an award winner in the education space. So these are great for your consideration as well. But let's turn our attention to what is the new products that are coming out. Oh, I forgot to mention here, we also have our medical monitors. Here's our 24-inch and our 22-inch as well. So let's talk about new products. The 8K monitor. This launched or is able to be ordered just this past week and will be shipping next month in April. This is really the cutting edge. It's the world's first 8K monitor with an incredible 7680 by 4320 resolution. This is an extremely high pixel density. It is a 31.5-inch display, but really fantastic choice for color critical high resolution needs, like photo and video editing are great examples, but also where high visual data is needs to be represented. This includes geography, architecture. You know, you've got blueprints, you've got science. You can get into oil and gas exploration, anything where you need to consume large amounts of visual information at one time and in a fast way. So fantastic display here, and it would be wonderful. I wish everyone can see it in person to really get the full impact of the product. So let's take a look at what's coming up soon. We are going to get our HDR monitor. HDR is high dynamic range. This is a Premier Color display, but taking it to the next level in terms of adding that HDR capability. For any folks that are going to be working with HDR, a tool like this is going to be certainly required in order to get your business completed. We are going to be adding another 4K monitor to our ultra sharp space, and this is going to go with an infinity edge screen. So really striking display at 27 inches with a very thin bezel around the outside, and still allowing capabilities like USB ports on the side. This will be available this summer in July. Curved monitors, as I mentioned, extremely popular. We have two 34-inch models available now, and we are definitely going to expand in this space. We have this amazing 38-inch monitor coming out in the June timeframe with an incredible 3840 by 1600 resolution. This is a fantastic alternative to a dual monitor solution, and you've got your speakers built in, the KVM, and it is also going to support USB-C, which is also a very hot item in the displays world, as you may know, as you're considering your desktop systems. USB-C is going to be an important connectivity option under certain circumstances, and this ultra-wide 38 is going to be a great way to address those. We are going to be refreshing that 24-inch Quad HD monitor that I'd mentioned, and you're going to see it is going to get an updated ID with narrower bezel, and we are moving away from VGA. It doesn't support Quad HD, so that's no longer necessary. But this is going to be an extremely popular one and great for reaching folks with higher productivity. We're going to be refreshing some of our other ultra sharps. As I mentioned, those thin bezels are going to be critical for moving the design language to the next level and making these products available. So the 25-inch is a great space from a Quad HD perspective to have that infinity edge. I mentioned that we were going to add more curved monitors. Here's yet another one. This is going to be 34-inch, just like the ones we have available now, but it is going to have a little bit less resolution and a fantastic price to get out there and be able to increase productivity for many more users. So at 2560 by 1080, you are getting more than that full HD and getting an incredible piece of glass to enjoy it and be more productive. Of course, you're able to use the picture-in-picture, picture-by-picture. It has the KVM, so you can get a lot of productivity out of this monitor as well. So now let's take a moment to talk about the conference room displays. We've got the 55 and the 86 being available to order right now. They won't be shipping until the end of May, but their ability to be on the cutting edge of technology and really future-proof your investment is key. When you're putting in a large conference room display, you don't want to have to change that a lot. You know, obviously it involves either mounting it on the wall, perhaps mounting it on a cart that you move around, but especially with the 86-inch, you probably don't want to move it around as much. But once you make that investment and you install it on the wall, as I mentioned, you want it to be reliable. You're getting it from Dell because and the way we stand behind our products, that's key, that these are commercial grade products. So you can be comfortable knowing that we're standing behind it that way, and that now with these technologies and with this feature set, you're going to be future-proofed as more and more information moves to the higher resolutions like 4K. So it greatly increases your productivity. They both have 20 points of simultaneous touch, and that's really great for a collaborative environment. And we know that folks are moving more towards collaboration. There's a lot more interaction with the information, whether you need to zoom in, rotate, or explore any sort of big data and graphics and any images that you may have. This is a great way to do it. But we take the productivity to the next level by including features like the ability to have a PC embedded right in the back. So we've left room for our Dell Optiplex Micro right in the back. Once you add a PC to this display, it's no longer just a display hanging on the wall where you bring your computing power by plugging in a PC or a notebook to it. Now you put this PC in the back, you can walk into the conference room and access network assets directly. So you may have complex drawings on servers in the back room. You may have accounting and financial papers on a particularly secure server that you want to access and pull up and be able to explore in real time right in the room. And that's key for increasing the productivity and improving and increasing your return on investment for such a large piece of technology. So these are the things that we're thinking about and that works through our entire portfolio. And that is what I wanted to walk through with you today. I hope you've enjoyed this walk through our Dell Monitor and Dell Display portfolio, and I hope you learned a number of things about the products and features and the process that we go through to design our products and why we are #1 in the world for now 4 years in a row. So hopefully you'll consider our products as you develop and work on your organizational decisions. I'd love to open it up to questions and make this more interactive. So Norman, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Joseph. That was a great presentation. We have got a question lined up for you in the questions box. It's from Todd Tillene. They're asking, we use the U3415W monitors. We love these monitors and have over 50% of our office on them. My 2 questions relate to small issue on this specific monitor. Number 1 is, sound on the screen is great for space, but the sound is tingy. Is there any plans to improve the speakers on these monitors?
So that's a good question. So you have our U3415W. That was our first curved 34-inch. We do have the new model, the U3417W. And of course, we've made enhancements. Offhand, I don't have it in front of me. I believe that it does have a slightly more powerful speaker. I'd have to look into it. It may be the case that they have the same wattage, but in general, I know that they did do some enhancements with the new model, the U3417W. The 2 big differences between the one you have and our new model are the curvature of the screen, which of course would not necessarily affect sound, but also the ID, which is the design of the product itself. And for that reason, the design of the back of the monitor as well as the speaker area has all been changed and enhanced. So my suggestion to you would be to experiment with our new model, the U3417W, and see if the sound is enhanced for you.
Thank you so much, Joseph. And the second part of his question is, we were experiencing the screen going black periodically and ended up having to disable DP 1.2 on the monitor, and the issue was resolved. This, however, keeps us from daily changing daily changing these monitors together. Any updates to firmware or other options to resolve this?
We did make some enhancements to that model. So one of the things was when we sent the models, they did have the DisplayPort 1.2 enabled by default, and we changed that to the 1.1. And then there were some other enhancements on that. That happened as the model was made available. There is not an easy way to upgrade the model that you have from a firmware perspective. Going forward, we're making it easier to upgrade monitors in the field with firmware. So you're going to get better experiences going forward. But the models that you've been purchasing, it sounds like you continue to get them in your organization, which is great. You should have better experiences with models that you've received more lately.
Thank you so much, Joseph. The next question I have is from Gary Collier, and he is asking, what would be your recommended Dell monitor to replace Apple's Thunderbolt 27-inch display?
Oh, that's a great question. Apple did stop producing monitors in the August of last year, and we already know, because Apple had the single monitor, that there were many happy Apple customers already using Dell products. But most directly to replace, let's say, with the most similar experience, the Apple Cinema display, that would be our U2717D. So U2717D, that is our ultra sharp 27-inch Infinity Edge display, which is in quad HD resolution. So that one most closely resembles the Cinema display. There's a number of different directions you can go to from there. Should you need color critical functionality, there is the UP2718D, and that model is very, very similar, but does include Premier Color. So you can go to a color critical 27-inch, and then from there, there's all different directions you can go in. You can go to bigger screens, you can go 30, 31.5-inch. You can also, there's a number of quad HD options. Perhaps you want something a little smaller. There's a 25-inch quad HD, so you have the same number of pixels with a little smaller piece of glass. So we do have a number of options, but the most similar is U2717D.
Thank you so much. The next question is from Jason, and he's asking, would be interested in the new curved monitors. However, we are running Dell Optiplex 9020s with VGA connectors.
Ooh.
What connection options would be available with VGA, and are there video card requirement?
So that's a good question. On the Optiplex 9020, while there may be a VGA on there, I'm fairly certain that there's going to be other display connectors on there, probably at least a DisplayPort as an option. But should you have only VGA at your disposal, considering the limitations of VGA, Full HD is really where you're going to have to be. And we do offer VGA connections on our E and P models. We have removed VGA from our ultra sharp portfolio, and you will also notice that DVI has also been removed from our entire portfolio. So so DVI for sure will no longer be available, and VGA will continue to be available on the E and the P series monitors. So for your Optiplex 9020, a great model to consider would be maybe a P27 17H. That's a 27-inch full HD monitor. That's a great one. We do have some, so that would be a good one. We also have the 24-inch or 23.8-inch, which is the P24 17H.
Thank you so much, Joseph. The next question I have is, how do you see the future of monitor resolution?
That is a good one. You've heard me talk about a number of different resolutions today. I didn't even go below full HD. 1920 by 1080. We do offer monitors on the smaller sizes with smaller resolutions. Full HD, which is that 1920 by 1080, is more or less a place where a lot of folks, a lot of organizations are landing, and it is the most popular resolution within the Dell portfolio. But you heard me talk about other ones, Quad HD and even 4K resolution. And now, of course, we're launching an 8K monitor as well. But Quad HD is a great place to go as well because it's very accessible to many systems that have been available for several years. It's not very demanding from a video perspective. So if you are working on client systems that are 3, 4, 5 years old, Quad HD should be a very easy transition. It shouldn't be any problem at all. When you get to 4K resolution, which again increases that productivity, but you start to really get to some a little bit more video graphics card demand. So you are going to have to take a good hard look at your client hardware to make sure it supports 4K. Generally speaking, if your client system is 1 or 2, possibly 3 years old, you're going to have a lot of luck, and 4K should work just fine. And even models that you buy today are going to work. Fairly certain you do need to check, but 4K should be accessible to you. Going forward, I think those resolutions are going to be the most popular. It looks like we've continued to push the envelope, especially with 8K, but at 8K resolution, this is for very much a specialized use around photo, video editing, like I said, high visual data applications, certainly not necessary for doing things like spreadsheets or your email. So I think you're going to find, even though Full HD is popular, it will be popular for the next couple of years, I think you're going to see more and more folks adopt Quad HD and 4K, and you're going to see that reflected in Dell's monitor portfolio.
Thank you, Joseph. The last question I can see is, tell a little bit about monitors' video connectivity.
I did allude to this a little bit earlier. DVI, which has been a popular computer connectivity option, has been made obsolete by other digital connections, namely DisplayPort and HDMI. VGA, which has been around, was around longer, and it is an analog connection, continues to have some life, and but even desktops that you buy today no longer come with VGA standard. It is an option that you have to purchase additionally, as well as notebooks are starting or have left the VGA ports out because they are big and bulky and are being replaced by even newer connectivity like USB-C. So going forward, you're going to see DisplayPort and increasingly HDMI be available. These are very small connectors, very capable. They add a lot of additional functionality, such as the ability to daisy chain with MST and other functionalities that we're going to see going forward. So for folks that are setting connectivity strategy and planning their computing desktop strategy, I would focus on DisplayPort and HDMI going digital going forward. So making your client decisions along those lines is going to be the best way to future-proof. USB-C fits perfectly with that should monitors be available. In the PC space, we generally work with more of a docking strategy. So even if your dock uses USB-C or USB 3, the docks are going to have that digital video connectivity with DisplayPort and HDMI. So that should take you certainly into the near to medium future.
Thank you so much, Joseph. There's one more question which just came in now from Alan. What is the difference between VGA and HDMI and DisplayPort? Which one is the best and why?
Okay, great. Well, VGA is an analog technology, so it is not using the language of computers, so to speak, in terms of digital signal, which is zeros and ones. And for that reason, it's subject to the ins and outs of electronics. Quite frankly, it's it's the technology that we've left behind. Analog has been, for the most part, almost exclusively left with VGA, and is something that we're moving away from, preferring to work with the zeros and ones of digital display. HDMI really comes to us from the consumer space, and really comes from TVs and DVD players and gaming consoles. And initially, the HDMI spec was going to be limited to 1920 by 1080, simply full HD, really to fall in line with what Hollywood and multimedia technology was coming out. When it became apparent that that was going to move beyond 1080, they developed the spec, and now HDMI happily supports 4K resolution, which of course we need with 4K televisions and 4K multimedia assets. But for that reason, HDMI, when it became more capable, has been brought into the computer fold to meet up with DisplayPort. Now, DisplayPort is a technology that was developed on the computer side with much more robust feature set, including, as I mentioned, multi-stream transport for being able to daisy chain displays together. But with these two different specifications, right now they're traveling sort of in parallel in terms of computing connectivity options. And it's a little hard to tell at this point which one is going to be prevalent. To a certain extent, we almost don't need both. However, the DisplayPort capabilities are more advanced at the moment than HDMI, and for good reason, in the sense that we're taking advantage of, let's say, 8K resolutions or daisy chaining of displays, which are things that HDMI really didn't need on the consumer side. Nobody was really going to daisy chain their televisions, for example, or the sources like a DVD player wouldn't even have necessarily the capability to do it. So those are functionalities that were never needed. However, for many computing display needs, HDMI is perfectly sufficient and very capable. So if you've got a single computer connected to a single monitor, HDMI is going to be just great. Certainly I would move any sort of strategy away from something like VGA and move it more towards essentially the two accepted digital formats going forward, HDMI and DisplayPort.
Thank you so much, Joseph. These are all the questions I can see in the questions box. So if you still have any questions after the webinar, please email us at webinars@pcm.com, and I will have those answered from our speaker after the webinar is finished as well. Okay, so with that, thank you so much, Joseph, for a very informative and entertaining webinar. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you again for future webinars. Have a wonderful day, everyone.